And welcome back to Hannity. Now, the three 15-year-old boys who viciously attacked an unidentified 13-year-old victim on a Florida school bus last month appeared before a judge for their preliminary hearing earlier today. Prosecutors are seeking 9 months of court supervision for the suspects, as well as no contact with the victim and random drug testing. However, they want to play the surveillance video of the attack before any sentencing takes place. Now, Fox News Channel's Phil Keating caught up with the father of one of the suspects, Julian McKnight, outside the courtroom.
All I can say is he had his consequences already, you know. This is the life, you know. We sorry about how it happened to the victim, but that's just the way it is. You know, my son ain't never been no bad person. You know, he just got mixed with bad people, that's all. Bad crew, so that's it.
Is he sorry?
He's sorry.
Is he in trouble?
He done already been through his trouble. This is just the last bit of it right now.
Now, all three were charged with aggravated battery, and one was also charged with unarmed robbery for stealing the victim's money. Each will return to court on August the 27th. Here with reaction, our radio talk show host Kevin Jackson. Democratic strategist Basil Smikle Jr. is here. Basil, what do you think in this case?
It was a vicious beating. I was amazed when I saw it. I am shocked that I would hope that the parents really take these kids to task. And, you know, it sort of sends a larger message, because one of the things that I've been really concerned about for quite some time is that a lot of these young people, particularly with social media, internet, there are a lot of these websites that are popping up where they sort of want their fame. They want their 15 minutes, if you can call it that, and use these opportunities.
I mean, it's just
and use these opportunities to sort of promote themselves, and I worry about that.
I mean, this is like, you know, as we're looking at this, Kevin, I mean, this is a no mercy, just beat down of this kid by three. I mean, then after they're done punching him, then the kicking begins. I mean, these are, you know, 15-year-old kids, are pretty strong kids. What's your reaction?
Well, it's brutal, and you know, it seems to me that these guys are, or I can still hear the monitor, by the way. It seems to me that these guys are sort of dismissing the real root cause of this, which is liberalism, the destruction of the family, this idea of this racially provoked violence, because this kid was doing nothing. And if the situation were reversed, this would be front and center all over the place. Too bad the kid wasn't a creepy-ass cracker, huh?
Well, I think, Basil, he does bring up a point. We spent a lot of time in this country discussing, a lot of people wanted to make the Trayvon case racial. Everybody, even the family, said it wasn't racial. If this was reversed, this was three white kids and a black kid getting beaten up, you know and I know there'd be a different response. There
would be a different response, and I would also say that I want there to be bigger responses when we have the killings that we do in Chicago, for example.
I agree with you.
Because I think a lot of that stuff gets swept under the rug.
Why though?
And because I think part of the problem is that there are a lot of folks that are out there that aren't actually addressing the root cause of the problem. I don't think it's just the breakdown of the family. I think that gets used a lot, but I think there is a lot more to it than that, quite frankly. Sometimes bad kids are just bad kids.
Sean, there is a lot more to it.
Kevin, go ahead.
There is a lot more to it than that. We have a president and an administration and a government that's stoking this kind of racial violence and racial insensitivity to the point where in Florida, for example, they have tiers of education systems for blacks. Blacks can now only have to pass tests at 74%, Asians at 90%. We have a president with the Department of Justice who says, hey, listen, guys, if black kids commit violence, let's change the sentencing laws. We have places in schools in Chicago and various other big cities where they say, hey, listen, we have too many black kids getting in trouble per capita, so we need to start just finding reasons to get other kids in trouble.
Wait, hang on, but this is important. We do have a president that calls Sandra Fluck. Has he said anything about the mayor of San Diego? No. We have a president gets involved in Trayvon. This is widely publicized. Has he spoken out? Has he spoken out here?
No, he hasn't spoken out here, and I wish he would. Quite frankly, I would absolutely.
Or the San Diego mayor.
But I do think what's happening in San Diego, Democrats need to speak out more on that.
Where's Obama on that?
You know what? I want him to speak out more on that. But I would also say I don't think he's stoking the flames of racism. He is not doing that.
I didn't say that.
No, your guest said that, and I think I don't think that that's reasonable or appropriate. It's just patently untrue. We've had racism in this country. We have discrimination in this country, and a lot of the problems that communities of color are facing did not happen just because of Obama.
But Kevin, let me go to Kevin. But why does he call Sandra Fluck and not speak out about Bob Filner? 14 women now have accused him. Why does he speak out about Trayvon and not call the family of this 13-year-old boy that got this beating?
Hey, Sean, we just posted a blog on my website where Barack Obama is in Martha's Vineyard right now hanging out with separating blacks who live on Martha's Vineyard, who will not associate with whites. And this is an example, and he says he's not stoking this type of activity. The reason why he doesn't speak out about he'll speak about Sandra Fluck, but he won't speak out about something like this or Trayvon Martin is for exactly what I said. He does not care that as opposed to being a president who could start healing the racial divide in this country, he's decided that he's going to let that divide exist. He should be right now front and center of this particular issue, saying, you know what, these teenage kids should not be doing that.
I can't have a problem with George Bush spending most of his days in Texas in the Western White House than actually in the White House in Washington, D.C. The president took a couple of days on vacation. I am confident that he, as well as the majority of his office, whoever's in D.C. right now at the White House, is doing work on our behalf. I could not say that about George W. Bush, who had most of his staff.
We're not talking about Bush. What you are not confident about is exactly what I just told you, which is Obama is hanging out with black separatists at Martha's Vineyard on his vacation.
Yes. What is a black separatist? I don't even know what that is.
A person who decides that they don't want to be involved with white people on the island. The person who was in charge of NPR who has no need for white people. This is the problem that we have in this country, is we want to keep making these little distinctions about black and white.
What do you mean?
Obama should be ahead of the curve.
I have no idea what that means.
Explain what you mean by that. I don't really understand what you're saying about Martha's Vineyard. I mean, in his $8 million mansion, but...
Well, there's a group of people that Barack Obama is hanging out with on Martha's Vineyard who are, they have said to themselves, we don't really want to hang out with white folks. We are black people on this island, and we want to, and he's attending all of these issues, all these events with these blacks.
I have no idea what that means.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there, guys. Appreciate you both being with us.